Fall is lock-in season, but what do we do when we do not feel the motivation every single day to stay locked in? We're going to get into all of it today and how you can remain a locked-in baddie for the entirety of your life. No, I mean honestly, but for this fall 2025 era. I also hereby declare it is baddie fall. It's baddie fall. It's lock-in fall. It's the lock-in arc, whatever fall era arc, whatever, but it's baddie fall though. Welcome back to the Stella podcast, y'all. Before we continue, I want to give a shout out to Factor Meals. For all my busy girlies and baddies out there, it can be a lot to meal prep and know and figure out what to eat every day. I love a good Factor meal box for a busy day, a busy week. You can customize your meal plan. They're all chef prepared, nutritionist approved. And if you use my link and code, you get 50% off your first box as well as free breakfast for an entire year. So definitely take advantage of that offer because it is going to end soon. So y'all better get on it. When I think of baddie fall, let's visualize. What is your ideal self? What does your ideal self look like? How do they feel? What is their morning routine? What is their nighttime routine? What is their daily routine? Who do they hang out with? Who are they dating? What is their job? What literally do they do every day? What is their workout routine? Like, what are they eating? Like, what do they smell like? You have to get very, very clear in your mind on what your ideal self is. And I think most importantly, the feeling that you want to have. So we've all heard of the law of attraction, and I think even specifically the law of assumption. And I realized this is kind of what I have been like doing because the law of assumption is basically specifically like you assume whatever it is that you want is already done and you connect with that feeling that you want after you get what you want. You have to really focus on the feeling that you are going to feel once you achieve that thing or gain that thing. So often we get stuck in the feeling of lack, like of not having, and of the yearning and the wanting, and like, oh, I don't have this thing. And this also just scientifically, negativity bias, our brain wants to focus on the bad. So you have to actively low-key work against this and just kind of redirect your energy. I think this is why the law of attraction is so powerful because literally, what's the quote? Where attention goes, energy flows. So what you're focusing on, more of that will appear. And it's just so true. Like, have you ever been like talking to someone like toxic in your life and like the rest of your life starts to go bad? Like and it's like literally you're putting me like not to obviously like blame like the other person because we have to like take responsibility for our own actions, but it's like you are putting me in this like bad mindset every day, and therefore the rest of my life is not falling into place. Like as soon as you cut off like someone like a dusty or like someone toxic, the rest of your life like dramatically improves instantly. It's like oh my bad. But literally, like, what you focus on will multiply. And there's nothing wrong, obviously, with like wanting something, like wanting to improve in some way, or kind of feeling like dissatisfied or like wanting more for yourself. But it's what you do with that thought or that realization that creates the next circumstances. I hate, hate's a strong word, but like, have you ever been around someone and all they do is complain? Like, it is exhausting to be around because it's like, babe, do something about your problems. And at least just don't use me as like a therapist. Like, it's like, do something then. Just do something because the time's gonna go by anyway. Like, you still have to live your life every day. You might as well do something instead of just sitting here complaining, like, literally, and you're like eating chips and like watching TikTok all day. Like, not that there's anything wrong with eating chips and watching TikTok, but like, if literally you're not doing what you want to be doing, like, it's just like, babe, wake up call. So, getting more specific as well. I think this really helps with making decisions because you can ask yourself, what would my ideal self do or decide on or choose? Like if you have like some options or like let's say someone is confusing you and you're like, "Oh my God, like I don't want to like make them feel bad or I feel bad if I like let them down or whatever, but like I really don't want to do this thing or like I don't want to see this person or I just don't want to do whatever." You have to ask yourself, what would my ideal self do? And it just cuts out so much of the BS and like it trims the fat. Sometimes I will have that, like, oh, I don't want to let this person down, or I'll feel bad saying no. And it's like all of this just kind of mental back and forth with myself. And it's like, okay, if I literally just pause and ask myself, what would my ideal self do? Like, my ideal self isn't afraid of like conflict or like setting a boundary, like, doesn't care what other people think. My ideal self is just like calm, confident, babe, like I do see what you think about me if I'm doing what's best for myself. Like obviously I don't want to like hurt someone's feelings on purpose, but it's like being assertive. And so it's like, okay, then I'm just gonna do that because that's what my ideal self would do. And I want to align myself with my ideal self. So it's also very easy, I think, for some people. Like I just saw this TikTok where this girl was like, bro, I feel so bad for this girl. She's like, oh, she's like coming out of her elevator in her building. She's like, oh, like what's with guys just wanting to come over all the time? I'm just like, okay, I guess like this is the second guy that's been over this week. It's like, oh my God, girls, is a cry for help because like it's just obvious you don't want to be doing this, but you're still doing it. And you're like lowering your vibration. Like, I'm not even saying that. I don't know if she's sleeping with the guys. Like, I'm not saying that in a slut shaming way, but it's just like, you can not, you don't have to do this. Like, babe, there's another option. Like, you don't have to just settle. You can like redirect your energy elsewhere. You can level up, you can improve, you can like actually go on dates. Like it seems like that's what you want to be doing. Like you do not need to settle. So it's like being aware of your power, I think also, and like empowering yourself to make those decisions that are aligned with your ideal self, your ideal vision of the life that you want and the person that you want to become and continue to step into rather than just like, oh, I guess nothing ever works out for me or like the world's against me or like this is it. Like having and also having that kind of lack mindset of like, I guess this is the best I can get. Like, no. And you literally, it's so true. You have to be almost delusional sometimes because it's just so, like, it is so shocking. And I do not mean to sound like negative. I think it's just literally life. I mean, there are evil people out there, obviously, but I think also it's like, just even someone who's your friend or reasonable, they're not going to know what you want or what is your like standard or what you actually are comfortable with unless you speak up for yourself. So it is like partially like you have to watch out because people want you to like people want the most from you in exchange for the least. Like they want to have to not do anything in order for you to do the most in anything like at work, in relationships, with dating, like some friendships. But then also like people just aren't going to know unless you say like you need to advocate for yourself, step into that ideal version of yourself because nobody can do it for you. And this was like, this blew my mind, y'all. So I saw a video, I'll link the girl's TikTok down below if I don't and you want to see it, remind me. But she was talking about like alchemy, and essentially how like it was about romantic obsessions. And if you find yourself getting super obsessed with like someone you're dating or whatever, and like it's super hard for you to let go or anything like that, and basically how you can look at relationships as kind of a reflection of what it is you truly want within yourself. So, like, I thought of this because if you're constantly waiting for someone else to like tell you it's okay to do something or like give you permission to be a baddie or to just like set a boundary or to like say no to something or like if you want to leave, oh my God, y'all, the other night I like left the function early and I was like so proud because thinking back, like I would have never done that when I was way younger. Like I just would have like waited till everyone else was ready to leave and then like leave. But I'm like sitting there tired, like resentful because nobody else wants to leave. But it's like I could just be like, I'm tired, bye guys, and like it's fine. Like no one's gonna be mad. If you are so obsessed with someone, like romantically or whatever, it's like they are giving you access to something, like a feeling or perception of yourself that you feel you can't embody yourself. So you're seeking this external source of it rather than like finding it from within or giving yourself permission to feel that thing. So, like, for example, I think if you're really obsessed with this guy and the feeling he gives you is like you're very desirable or like you're very feminine, like maybe he's a gentleman and like you just feel super girly and like you can just be like soft girl era around him. Or if someone makes you feel like life is really exciting and they're always taking you like on adventures or like it's like, okay, what am I not letting myself fully express within myself? How could I just make myself feel more feminine and girly? How could I make my life more exciting just for myself? Because often, like, these relationships are just a reflection of like what we actually want. And so it's kind of like, okay, go just straight to the feeling. And it also, I think this mindset, like, I was so blown away by this because I think this mindset also just makes dating and just life like feel like not a waste of time. You know, because my single girlies will relate sometimes, or just anyone who's ever dated, like sometimes it just feels like the biggest waste of time ever because you have to like go on low key so many dates and it's like majority of these people, these guys are not going to be the right fit. Like some of these are going to be horrible dates actually, and sometimes it's just so like annoying and like just tiring. But it's like you can learn something from every situation, and even outside of dating, like if someone is really annoying to you or like even if like you really like someone or like someone just like anything, it's like kind of bringing it back to yourself like okay, what does this bring out in me? What does this like what about this triggers me or what about this person do I wish I had? Like how could I embody that myself? Like what draws me to this person? Etc. What annoys me about this? Like what are my deepest fears and what are my deepest desires? It's like, oh, like this is what life is about, you know, because I think it's so easy to get in that mindset of like everything should be perfect all the time. Like if it's not, I'm failing, like low key. But for me, this just really clicked because it's like, oh, like it's about the process. And even if something doesn't work out in whatever regard, whether it's a date or like a job or like anything, it's like I like low key learned something about myself, my life. I got closer to myself and like more aligned with myself. So it's really like nothing is a waste of time. And I think that quote also like rejection is redirection kind of aligns with that somewhat as well. It's like, I mean, that's more so about like looking to the future, but it's like, okay, like what did we learn? What did we learn about life, about what I like, what I don't like, what my fears are, what I'm like not, what I'm honestly like holding myself back from because I feel like I'm not allowed to like be this thing or like someone else has to see me as desirable or adventurous or sexy or like give me that permission in order for me to embody that. Like how could I just embody that myself, period, and not like wait for that external source or like external validation? Mind blown. I think part of Baddie Fall is reframing everything. But yeah, it's like so easy to just think, oh, that was a waste of time, or like I'm so dumb for like even giving this person a chance, or like putting myself through this situation or whatever. But it's like literally everything is an opportunity to learn about your life yourself. I also think just with life in general, and I have seen like quite a few posts about this just in like when talking about AI and how everything is just so convenient these days and like it just takes even like picking up a mobile order or something, it just takes out so much of the humanity, like how there's an app for everything. You can just like basically get anything you want instantly. You can just drop it off. You don't have to really interact with anyone a lot of the times. It's like the whole point of life is to like low key like chill and like have random convos, and I've talked about that before with that book, The Power of Strangers is it called, but just how like talking to random people and yapping, as the kids say, and just, having trivial conversations. Like, it's not everything has to be about networking. Also, if you talk to a random, like, it can just literally be like, oh, this like added meaning to my day. Like, but the same is true for like more, in depth situations or relationships. It's like, this wasn't a waste of time. Like, I grew from this. Even if it was like a horrible, fucked up situation, like, we learned something. And I was thinking about this too, like, part of why like not to romanticize like the struggle or being stressed out or like the grind or anything, but sometimes it's like I low key would rather, I don't want to say be going through something because God forbid, like knock on wood, but it's like when life is overly just perfect or there's like nothing going on, sometimes it's kind of boring. And like obviously we all want peace, but I think what I mean by this, it's not like I want like something horrible to happen, literally, okay, knock on wood, but it's just like at least this is like engaging my brain. Like I'm like learning, like I'm because I like if things are so boring, it's like you're probably not like learning anything. You're not like stimulated enough. Again, not that something bad has to happen, but sometimes if I just like am annoyed or like I don't know, it's like I low key rather, I don't want to say that. I was gonna say I'd low key rather go on a bad date than no date at all, but sometimes it's like you just kind of need the story time or the experience or like the thoughts, like just like, okay, like what did this teach me? Rather than just staying at home all the time. And this is another thing for baddie fall. Okay, y'all, lock and fall. Get out of the house. I don't know about y'all. In the past, it has been very easy for me to just stay at home like so much. And yeah, obviously, there was like lockdown, we were forced to do that. But like, your house is your ultimate comfort zone. And so it's so easy throughout the week, to just go to work, come home, or just clock out, log out. You're at home. It's like, oh, well, it's kind of too late to do anything. Like, I don't know. But you have to like force yourself to do things because otherwise you won't have that kind of magical energy. Like, you won't have a random convo with someone. You won't accidentally like run into someone that you know, or like have like a meet cute, or like see the sunset in the parking lot and you never thought like this wouldn't have happened if you didn't decide to just like take a little outing. Like, we need to get out there because I think it's so true that our phones kind of give us that fake sense of like connection or socializing. And don't get me wrong, like sometimes that's what we need, and we need it like to check out, and we need to just scroll and like numb ourselves, like coping mechanism. But if that's like your main source of stimulation, engagement, like socialization, I think it low key needs to change for a lot of people because most people do feel very lonely and disconnected. So we have to just like get out more. I love when I see people doing like solo dates or solo activities because I think that's another thing. Not all the baddies have like girlies to do stuff with. I feel like that sometimes. Like, I'm just like, damn, like, not that like I don't at all, because I don't want to discredit people who ask me to do stuff. You know what I mean? Like, period. I love that. But sometimes it's like you just have to do something by yourself, or at least just like get out there. And this also goes into find or take a moment to just step back and be mindful of and realize the daily things you can do to feel like a baddie, to feel like your ideal self, your most confident self, and to just get you in that mindset of like alignment with your ideal self. So I'm gonna just name a few. Okay, I was listening to like, is it Drake's most recent album, For the Dogs, right? Damn. For All the Dogs, Scary Hours edition. I don't know why I have never listened to this full album like just through, because honestly I don't know. Sometimes I'm like not on my Drake vibes. But also, side note, in 2015, I posted a main Instagram photo on Drake's birthday and I was like, happy birthday, Drake. And I mean, it did match the aesthetic of my page, and that was kind of the norm at the time because there was no like IG stories. But it's still in my IG archive. Like, I used to really love Drake. Like, I don't know, now it's kind of like, I mean, anyway, this is not what this is about, but I just felt like a baddie listening to this. And it just like got me in that zone. Like, I'm just like, yes. So other things, do your hair and makeup every day. Like, as you can see, this makeup and hair is from today. I had a full day. This was done at 7 a.m. It is now almost 7 p.m. Like, we touched up the lip, but like the hair, it's literally nothing crazy. This could obviously be a lot better, but it's still like just cute for a nannying day in my life, a coaching call day in my life, a running errands day in my life. Like, this top, it's backless. It's like cute. Put on jewelry, put on a nice fragrance. I wore an ugly outfit the other week because it was like a colder day. I was trying to experiment with layering. I hated the outfit. Like, I hated it. It just made me feel like gross. And my vibes were off all day. So you gotta find what makes you feel just like step into that baddie energy. Also, like, low key, I mean, talking to people, making like small talk, acknowledging people for sure. Sometimes, when appropriate, maybe flirting a little bit. I just love that. Like, again, of course, like time and place within reason, like when it's appropriate, when it's like safe. Like, sometimes it's like, I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea, like leave me alone. But like sometimes it's just like what did I say? A cute and fun, flirty doorman. That's the best. Like, it's just the best. Like, you can just have your little flirty convo and like go about your day. Like, again, within reason. Like, I'm not saying like fully flirt, but you know what I mean. And also just being like open to conversation with people, and just not being on your phone so much. Like, I think that's so annoying when people are so on their phones that they're not like aware of their surroundings, or like it's hard to have a convo with them because they're just like, I mean, it honestly just comes across like they don't want to like be there. So if you have a problem with like talking to people, or if you go out, or like you're scared to go to a bar by yourself, it's like, it's very uncomfortable and hard, but you have to like really not be on your phone because people just honestly think you're busy. Like even if they're not thinking you're rude, it's just like, oh, she must be like doing something. Like why would you talk to someone who's like on their phone? Like, people don't want to be rude to you, so don't be rude to them by being on your phone. If you don't, if like you want to be social. And also just a little shit. I feel like especially this time of year with like fall, it's like yes, consumerism. I literally want to buy stuff every day, and I'm usually not like I don't usually love to buy stuff all the time, but like every day I have to tell myself like chill because I want to buy candles, I want to buy some fall OOTDs, accessories, like home decor, new fragrances. Like I just want to buy so much stuff. But honestly, within reason, get on your fall candle vibe. I got some new like bedding for fall and winter, like little stuff like that. Because of course we don't want to be in the house too much, but when you are home, you want to feel like this is my sanctuary. This is where I can relax and recharge and like be myself, but like it's also very much my comfort zone, so I don't want to be there all the time. But like when I am here, I want it to be nice. Of course, y'all, eating right, working out, getting your steps, drinking enough water, all of that. Because I think not only is it about looking good, being a snatch to baddie, all of that, but it's just really like when you invest that time, effort, money, energy into yourself and you're feeling the benefits of doing that, it gives you the biggest confidence boost and just energy boost because you know that you can come through for yourself. Like, and you're just going to thank yourself so much as you get older, with mobility, with strength training and like bone density, with, of course, eating right and like being mindful of ingredients and what you're eating and like having high cholesterol, babes. Like, there are no side effects, like symptoms of having high cholesterol. Like, the only way you'll know is if you get tested for it. So, make y'all's doctor's appointments. You need to put yourself as a priority and do what you need to do. Meanwhile, having this, long-term vision of your ideal self and every day aligning yourself to that. That also means being flexible though, especially as girlies, like different hormone fluctuations every week. Like I'm going crazy, but I'm going to be mindful and work with my body, with myself, with my hormones. And just always keep in the back of your mind, like, what would my ideal self do in this situation? How can I show gratitude for my current circumstances? Like, it's not about, trying to make your life perfect or like every single minute needs to be productive, but it's about taking those smaller steps to align yourself to that greater vision of your ideal self, whatever that may be, whatever they may feel like, look like, what they're doing, where they live, etc. And when you have this long-term vision of yourself, it's so much easier to stay motivated because you know what it is that you are working for, working towards, and like you have a purpose. Versus if you're just like, oh yeah, I don't know, I'm not gonna work out, like what's the point? I don't see results today. It's like, no, you have to keep the long-term vision in mind and really know your why, like why you want to do this, what excites you about it, how it's going to make you feel, and how, again, like how can I incorporate like those feelings and everything into my day today. It could be through gratitude, it could just be through like having some mindful moments throughout the day, reconnecting with yourself, and again, like doing the things, investing into yourself, like taking yourself out, getting coffee or whatever, going to a restaurant or like a bar, dressing cute, going to the gym, like it's stuff that we know, like, yeah, period, but it's like literally the feeling that you get when you actually do those things and invest into yourself, it really like raises your vibration. Like, especially with the music, I feel like when you listen to the music that makes you feel like a baddie, it's like that's the energy that we want. I really feel like music can be affirmations. That is how we are going to lock in this baddie fall. Let me know your baddie fall tips and tricks. Keep that in your mind. What would my ideal self do, think, decide on, say, etc. Let me know what you want me to talk about next week. I apologize for the shorter episode, but I'm just like, yeah. Basically, thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to check out Factor Meals. If you are interested in some free health coaching sessions, please let me know. Message me on IG and we can discuss because I do need some more people. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye, everyone.